Yo, what's going on? It's Joel Casanova, your favorite mobile dance educator, and I'm talking about kids today. I specifically kids hip hop because that's what I teach, but this applies to teaching kids in general, right? Everyone should be teaching kids like this. Not just because I'm biased on how I teach, but because I'm extremely biased on how I teach. So, you have to see it as an introduction to dancing and their body, right? You're introducing them to this new world, right? Older dancers who have been dancing understand that when I say go to the corner, that means we're going to go across the floor. When I say get in your formations or first formation, or I start slowly going through these certain movements, they're like, oh, I should be knowing this. I should be memorizing this. Kids don't know that if you don't tell them, right? They're just kind of like there. And you're like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? I don't understand. Right? So first of all, make it fun. And second of all, make it structured. Right? So when you are going into everything that's happening, you have to realize the level of which you're teaching at. And so that requires a lot of self-control. Not for them, but for you. Right? Because I need to understand what I'm doing because I'm the one setting the parameters. I'm setting more detailed parameters because they don't know what's going on. That's the whole point. You're introducing them, right? And so the reason you need self-control is because first impressions are everything, right? I knew this guy. His name was Sean, and he bugged the heck out of me, right? I did not like him. He was so weird. And I then had an aversion to the name Sean for a while. Simply because of this one guy, right? So there's nothing inherently wrong with the name Sean, or even with the guy himself. He had a problem, but that's the point, right? And so I was like, I don't like the name Sean. And when someone was like, hey, my name's Sean, I'm like, right, for a while. And like that's how we are as humans. So I don't understand why we don't see it that way when we're talking to kids. Kids do the same thing. They're like, I don't like this flavor. Why? Because I don't like it. When really, you got stung by a bee when the first time you tried that flavor, right? That would be a really bad association. And so you're introducing dance to them, so it takes self-control so you don't make a Sean out of dance. You understand? A great analogy that I found later on after I started teaching classes was glass blowing. My brother, I've done glass blowing before. My brother has done it a lot more than me. And the more I see him do it, the more I realize what's happening is you're taking this molten glass, right? And you pull it out, and then you take it and then you shape it while it's like boiling hot. It's like searing hot. And that's the only time that it's moldable. And so you have to kind of reheat it, come back out and mold it again. And so you have to know what you're planning to do ahead of time and don't panic, right? All of kids' classes can be summed up in that phrase, in that sentence. Don't panic, plan. Because if you're panicking, you're like, ugh, and then they're like, what's going on? You're stressed out. I'm stressed out. It's just human psychology. It's like, I'm freaking out. And they're like, should we be freaking out? Yes, he's freaking out. I'm freaking out, right? I'm self-preservation, right? And so if you're like, nope, everything's fine. I'm just going to have self-control and go through the plan that I have set for you. Because like an hour ago, if not a week ago, and if not a month ago, I planned out what I wanted you to go through. And because I have a plan, I have no need to panic. And so you are now relaxed and you can be introduced to your new best friend, dancing, right? Not Sean, dancing. So when I come into my kids' classes, I have a plan set in mind, and I have myself on like a radar. I'm like, okay, how do I feel right now? Let me take that into account as I teach these kids, regardless of how they feel. I'm talking about myself because I can't control them. I can control me. And that helps them get introduced to this amazing thing called dancing. So that's a little insight into how I teach my kids' classes. And I'll see you guys next week.